You're watching Radioactive Interviews right here on YouTube. My name is Victoria. With me right now, I'm joined by Lonny Eagleton. How are you doing, Lonny?
Hey, Victoria, pretty good. Thanks for having me on the show. Doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm super excited to have you back on the show today because last time I talked to you, you guys kind of were releasing Scarlet Cross and Fields of Bone, but the full Phantom Tomorrow album wasn't out yet. So I just kind of want to start there. How excited are you that this album is finally out? And like it's been out for about I think like a month and a half. So just how excited are you that it's finally out for people to hear?
Yeah, very excited. It's cool when something's kind of been, you know, in the works for so long, and you just want to put it out there, right? Of course, the creation element is very fun, but for me, there's nothing better than just putting it out there and going out and touring it, right? That's really uh, where the magic happens for me, and my level of excitement is going out on tour and performing the songs live, and just seeing what people think about it. And to do that now is pretty awesome. It's an album and a body of work that we're all very proud of. We put a lot of time into it, a lot of effort, a lot of hard work, and it's nice to see it connecting with people. We've seen a lot of positive feedback about it, and when we played the songs live on the tour that we just finished on our United States tour, it's cool seeing people's faces light up when we're playing the new music. So yeah, it's been great. Really happy to have it out finally.
And for you, this was kind of the first BVB album that you recorded, other than the Restitch These Wounds album, but this is kind of the first original one that you recorded with the band. So how was the process, the whole recording process for you?
Yeah, it's definitely an honor to be a part of this release, right? So yeah, I joined the band in late 2019, and we actually put out the Night EP, just the two-song
Right.
EP
Yeah.
with The
Yeah.
Vengeance and Saints of the Blood. That was followed by Restitch These Wounds, which was a re-recording of the band's first debut album from 10 years ago. So it was reimagined with a new modern twist. And then, The Phantom Tomorrow, which is the new album, which came out October 29th. And, it's great, right? I mean, who wouldn't want to be a part of a Black Veil Brides release? It's an honor to be, performing with these guys, and just out playing shows with them, and I don't know, it's just great all around, right? It's nice to work on stuff that so many people are connecting with, right? Whenever you're creating something, it's always like, oh, I hope people watch this, or I hope people listen to it, and it's really nice when people do. And in the case of the new album Phantom Tomorrow, it seems to be connecting with quite a large audience. So that's very special.
And during the recording of this album, were there any like specific like moments that stood out to you while like being in the studio recording this?
I always take it back to the first session we did for the album, which was where Scarlet Cross came to fruition. Jake brought in the riff for that song, and that was the first time we all got together to work on this record. And it ended up being the first single off the record, which is kind of cool, just coincidentally. And things just kind of escalated from there, right? I think at the time, I don't even know if there was a plan to make a full album. I think it was just, hey, let's get together and write a tune. And then that became Scarlet Cross. And then it's like, you know what? This feels pretty good. Let's make a whole album. So I think that Scarlet Cross session was where it all began. So that's something that my mind always resorts back to when I'm asked this specific question.
And then going into the more like presentation of the record, you guys had the music video series. How did you like the way all the videos turned out and stuff like that?
Yeah, totally. Totally. Yeah, we did a few videos for this. Starting with Scarlet Cross, and I mean, the videos are all on YouTube. You can check them out. But Scarlet Cross was very cool, kind of the commencement of the storyline, which accompanies the lyrical message of this record. For those who aren't aware, it's a concept record, playing into a story. And, I love that kind of thing, right? So, yeah, the Scarlet Cross video was fun, followed by Fields of Bone, which was the second release from the album. And that one was cool, too. We filmed it in this creepy, like, dungeon film set area, which I understand has been home to a lot of horror films over the years and whatnot. So it was cool to film there. Also very scary. And and I think my favorite video was the one for the song called Torch. And a little side, I always call it the Torch, but it's actually just Torch. There's no the at, so I think this is the first interview that I've got the name correct. So it's just Torch. Anyways, yeah, that video is cool. There's clips of us like carrying a casket through a cemetery in Hollywood. And it was baking hot that day. We're all wearing these red 3-piece suits, just sweating to death, carrying like a 600-pound casket through a graveyard. But the shots look very cool. We got some nice sunset footage, and there's like a cool funeral scene with Blackbird, who is the protagonist character of the storyline for the Phantom Tomorrow. A great team, great group of people who worked on the music videos for this record. And as I said earlier, it's just a big privilege to be a part of the whole thing.
Right. And like, out of all the songs that you recorded on this record, what's your favorite one?
So my favorite song is Born Again off the new one. I'm a big fan of pop music, Lady Gaga and that kind of stuff really does it for me. So I really like the catchy choruses. And they're even better when they're accompanied by badass distorted guitar riffs underneath, drop-tuned guitar riffs accompanying a catchy melody. For me, that's the be-all and end-all, I love that. And the whole record kind of plays into that. But Born Again, especially for me, I get excited every time I hear it.
And would you say that's like your favorite song that you recorded to when making the album? Or was there another one that you liked just to track?
Yeah, I don't know, I love Born Again, but it's tough. There's so many good songs on there. Shadows Die is a cool one. Fall Eternal. It's really hard to choose. It really is. And I feel like this record it's the kind of record that's meant to be listened to as a whole. It's almost as though it's just one giant song as opposed to pieces from track to track. There's some nice transitions that connect one song to the next. Lyrical themes are current throughout the various pieces throughout the album. So yeah, I really feel like it's meant to be listened to all in one go. And although each song is crafted individually, or you can buy individual songs on iTunes or whatever, it's nice to put it on front to back.
Right. And correct me if I'm wrong on this, but at the very end of Fall Eternal, isn't like the last note, doesn't it like restart the record or something? Or am I wrong on that?
No, you're right. Yeah, so the very end of the album, it's a perfect loop into the beginning. So the last chord is the first chord. And if you had it on repeat with no time in between, it's just the circle of life, as they say.
Yeah, well, that's like, was there a reason behind that, or did you guys just think it was cool, or did it just kind of happen like that?
I mean, I think that it's kind of made to represent that everything is really a circle, whether it's like, a family tree or whatever it is, right? But, the Jinx, who's a member of the band, you might probably know that, but if you don't, Jinx is a member of the band. He's a phenomenal guitar player, but he also does all the orchestration for the records. On all the Black Veil Brides material, you'll hear like violins and cellos and orchestration, and he's the one who does that stuff. And the album begins and ends with that type of orchestration. It's cool to hear those instruments on a metal album. And that was kind of his doing, was with his compositions there, just to begin and end it in that flow.
And like you had mentioned earlier, you guys kind of just came off of your US tour, the In-Between tour with DED and In This Moment. Overall, how was this tour and just touring with those two bands in general?
Yeah, it was fun. So we just finished, it was pretty much a 3-month tour. It was so much fun. It was great to get back out on the road after not having toured for a little bit. And all the bands were great, very professional, made some friends. And yeah, just, great venues. It's always nice playing in those big theaters. We did a couple arenas, which was cool. Music festival thrown on in the middle there. We did Aftershock Festival. And yeah, the tour was great. It was just nice to I feel like I got to know the guys in the band a lot better because up until this I had only worked with them mostly in the studio or on music video sets, photo shoots, or the odd one-off show here and there. But this was my first full-length tour on with the band, right? Being on a bus with these guys and stuff. So I got to know them on a deeper level, and it was nice. It was nice to kind of make those further connections. And yeah, I feel like we all got along pretty well. I'm looking forward to the next one. Right when the tour ended, we announced new dates like a week later. So we're going back out this spring for another tour, and it's a triple headliner with Motionless in White and Ice Nine Kills. So it's going to be the three of us as a rotating set of triple headliner tour, and yeah, it's going to be great.
Hopefully.
And yeah, I'm sure it will be. That's a killer lineup for sure.
You're coming to the show in Edmonton, right?
I am indeed. It's gonna be fun.
That's so awesome. It's gonna be great.
And I just saw today that tickets are selling pretty fast too. So for anyone watching, you better get your tickets.
Yeah. There's already quite a few sellouts on the tour, so it's awesome. It's nice to see the excitement.
Yeah, and for this tour, it was like you had said, your first full length tour with the band. But you also got to meet a bunch of new fans during the meet and greets. How did that go, meeting so many different fans every night?
Oh, yeah, it was cool. One of the awesome things about being, part of Black Veil Brides is the fan base is so devoted and dedicated. We see people, getting tattoos dedicated to the band and, naming their pets after us and stuff like that. It's amazing. It just warms our hearts. It's just so cool to, meet the people who listen to the songs and hear their stories. They're like, oh yeah, we drove 10 hours to be here at this show. And, it's awesome. It doesn't get any better than that. We just love it so much. And it's nice to see people having just as much fun in the audience as we are having up on stage. So. And
I have to ask, was that, if anyone didn't see this, they might be confused, but you guys got that jelly bean game, that spicy jelly. Did a fan give that to you guys?
Yeah, I think it was a gift from Meet and Greet. It was basically the game Bean Boozled, I think it's called. And there's all these gross flavors of jelly beans. And yeah, the version of the game we got was where they're super spicy. And there was 5 levels. It was I think it was sriracha, jalapeno, something, Carolina Reaper. And yeah, we were just eating them on the tour bus, rolling down the highway at 3 a.m, eating spicy jelly beans, and they were super spicy. And it kind of caught on into a theme of the tour. CC, our drummer, ended up going to a hot sauce store a few cities later, and he's like, "What's the hottest hot sauce you have?" And the girl's like, "Are you trying to hurt somebody?" And he's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "All right, don't touch this bottle without gloves on. This is some hot stuff." And he bought it, and we were all taking drops backstage, just on the ground, crying in pain from the spice. This was one of the last shows of the tour. It was a great way to end the tour, and I feel like my mouth still hasn't recovered. It'll probably recover by the time we start the next tour, but by then he'll probably have an even hotter hot sauce for me to try. So, good times.
Yeah. And just throughout the whole tour, were there any specific moments that just really stood out or just are going to be kind of stuck with you now?
Yeah, there was this one time CC was doing a beat and I wasn't playing at the moment because there was no bass guitar in this portion of the song. And I'm like, dude, fist bump, middle of the song. I reached out my fist and I'm like, boom. And then he was drumming, so he couldn't fist bump me back. And I just kept it there. I'm like, nope, not going anywhere. And he's like, I can't fist bump you. And eventually I just had to pull it away, and he denied me the fist bump. And I still haven't forgiven him for this. So it was definitely not a cool thing to do, to leave a bro hanging.
Did even Rick give you a fist bump backstage after the show?
Disrespect. He did after the show, but by then it was too late. So CC. Apart from that, Aftershock Festival was great. We got to play before Metallica. Doesn't get any better than that. That is, in terms of concerts and playing music, that is really the teenage dream, as Katy Perry would put it.
And also on the road, you were filming some like tour vlogs and just other videos like that. You filmed a Born Again bass cover, or a bass playthrough, I guess, in your hotel room. Where do you find the time to edit these videos and promote them while you're on the road?
Yeah, basically you just don't sleep. You just you just sleep less. That's the answer. But yeah, so for those who don't know, I have a YouTube channel that I do, and I make tour vlog videos out there documenting my time out on the road, behind the scenes, backstage, how I'm feeling from day to day, and on top of other videos, lessons and songs and covers and stuff like that. And I made a playthrough for Born Again while on tour. I did it in a hotel room, and that I was literally filming that at like 3 a.m. I think we were in Chicago. And I love making the vlogs. It's nice to show people kind of like what it's like to be on tour, right? That's really the whole point behind it. Is I remember when I was younger and I wanted to be on these types of tours, I'm like, what's it like, right? What do the dressing rooms even look like? And I like to be able to kind of give a glimpse into my world to somebody who may be wondering those same questions that I was at one point. So yeah, they're fun, but yeah, it takes up a lot of time doing all the edits and stuff, but it's fun. I love it. I wouldn't do it if I didn't want to do it, but yeah, I definitely don't get much sleep.
And out of all the ones you did on the road, which one's your favorite? Because you did a few vlogs, you did playthrough, you did the pros and cons one of being a tour musician, and you also posted the rap battle that you and Cece did on Jake's Twitch stream. So
yeah, we did a freestyle rap battle. My favorite one was the pros and cons of being a touring musician. It's basically just me discussing, what I love about touring, and even as far as to go into the downsides of touring, which is something that not many people talk about. And I was like, it might be cool to just be completely honest with my audience, and not be afraid to kind of shy away from being real in the moment and of how I was feeling. Because at the time I was filming that video, I was feeling rather homesick, and it's like, yeah, you can pretend everything's great, and it is, but there's also the side of, like, as I discussed in the video, just sometimes it's hard to be away from your family for 3 months at a time, right? So yeah, I really loved sharing my thoughts in that video, and yeah, I'll be making more on the next tour.
So just like one more topic to touch on here, we mentioned it a bit earlier, but you guys are doing another spring tour with Motionless White and Ice Nine Kills. Just what are you looking forward most about this tour?
Let's see. I know we're doing some pretty amazing venues on this next tour. We're playing some really beautiful theaters, right? The nice part about having 3 bands headlining is that you can fill up larger rooms, right? So it's like if there's one of us bands on our own, we can definitely attract a big audience, if I do say so myself. But when there's 3 bands built together, you can sort of play like the next level of venue. And we're playing some very, very beautiful, prestigious rooms on this next tour, and they're already selling out. So that is amazing. So it's just an honor to play in those types of rooms for sure. Apart from that, just getting on a tour bus excites me. That's always what it's all about. Just getting up on stage, picking the strings on my bass, and just hearing that rumble that echoes throughout the venue. Can't beat it.
That's true. And you guys are also going to Australia, I believe, at some point, correct?
Yeah, as soon as we finish this tour, the plan is to fly directly to Australia and hang out with some kangaroos. So,
how excited you go over there? Because that's gonna be your first time going over there, I assume.
Correct. Yeah, I've never been to Australia. I really liked the movie Kangaroo Jack when I was a kid. Check it out if you haven't seen it. So I'm excited to see some real life kangaroos and koalas, and eat some Vegemite and listen to AC/DC. It's going to be a good time.
Sounds like a fun time. Thanks for doing an interview today, Lonnie.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks so much for having me.